What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Three Wheel Golf Show, where we talk shop, always go for it in two, and never ever three putt. I am your host, Cole. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, man, I am just gutted this week. I am gutted for Hideki. I'm loving to see Chris Gotterup, continue this great form that he's in. But I'm just really gutted for Hideki, man. He was in control of the tournament for like what seemed to be 71 holes. And especially Sunday, he didn't even make a mistake until, literally the 72nd hole. So that was just really tough to watch. But Chris Gotterup, dude, I mean, that cat, and it's what we're going to talk about with the three wiggle wisdom, but that cat has got some mojo right now, and I'm loving watching that. He swings his swing. It is by no means what you might consider, air quote, the most technically correct golf swing. But he's just filled with great hand-eye coordination and athleticism and a lot of power. And so, you pair crushing the golf ball off the tee with, having the ability to just feel that your swing is in the right place at impact to produce the golf shots you want to hit, and you're gonna get these types of results. We've seen this through every era of golf, where the swing may not be technically sound, we'll say, but the guy's got confidence, and that oftentimes is just produces better results than the guy that does have the picture perfect, Adam Scott swing. No disrespect to Adam Scott, of course, he's an all time great, but it's good to see, and I think it matters. Actually, I think there's a lot to take away from what Chris is doing. 4 wins, since May of 2024, and they've not been small golf tournaments. It's not like he's winning, like just as an example, like the John Deere Classic or, you know, um, the tournaments down in the Caribbean. Um, so he's winning some bigger events, the Scottish Open, Sony, now Waste Management, and I can't remember the one he won before that. I think it was his first one that I'm leaving out, but anyways, it is just great to see. Waste management. We obviously got to touch on that. It's an all-time fan favorite. I would have to suspect. I've never been to the tournament myself. I did go play TPC Scottsdale as they were setting up the golf course and ran it at a Tony Finau back in October of 25. So that was really cool. Let me rephrase that. Literally like cross paths. We didn't talk or anything. He was with his oldest son. I'm trying to remember his name, but they were heading to the back side of the range to practice privately, and but that was cool. And TPC Scottsdale is an awesome golf course. It was cool. It was really fun to play it. Like the stadium hole with the all the stands up. It was a really fun experience, and played a good round of golf. So that always makes traveling to play new golf courses even better when you show up to an immaculate, just pristine piece of God's green earth, and you play good golf. So that's always fun. Waste management. I mean, there was we had the little, there's always something every year. There's always something, especially at that tournament, because of the level of rowdiness that is tolerated. You had some young influencer. I don't even know his name, but the guy that paid somebody $100 to scream jackass in the back of one of the guys' swings. I'm just gonna, I just, I didn't know who the guy was. And then I went and looked him up, on his social media. And I just don't know what the appeal is with people like that. I mean, if you go look at his profile, I wish I could remember his name because I'm really trying to blast him right now, but it's embarrassing. Um, and it's a shame that a guy with that type of like outwardly douchebag character, um, has such a huge following, you know? So I don't know. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. It obviously rubbed everybody else, you know, the wrong way. And the fact that he's banned from all future PGA Tour events, I think that's great. Um, but we'll get off that little tangent there. Man, it's just a great week. I mean, it was perfect weather, you know, all week long. And we just look. It's one of those tournaments early on in the calendar year that everybody's got their eye on. They're ready for it. They're looking for it. And I would like to go to the tournament. I'll be honest now at 30, be 31 next month. If I go to the Waste Management, you know, next year, following year, in 10 years, whatever it may be, eventually I will go to that golf tournament. But it will not be, you know, if it was 5 or 10 years ago, I would have probably been down there getting absolutely sloshed with the boys. But now I would definitely be going to just consume as much golf as I could. That'll definitely be my MO. So I look forward to that when that time comes. Um, Next week, you know, I'm kind of gonna get away from the Waste Management. We're gonna get right into Pebble Beach next week. Rory, reigning champ there, you know, after his just stellar 2025 season. So you definitely look for him to perform well again. And it's not as if he's out of form. The guy's never out of form. His golf swing. I mean, you're gonna talk about a guy with an immaculate golf swing. It's Rory McIlroy, and um, so I expect him to do well. Um, and you know the other big names, Scotty will be there, and all the other guys. So love to just see Pebble Beach in action and the guys out there playing. The small greens for me is what I think is the most impressive part to the scoring there, which is, you know, when the guys go out there and they produce really low scores. Oftentimes people watching don't understand just how impressive it is because they have a small screens on tour. And you pair that with, you know, the wind and the difficulty of the golf course just as a whole. Um, Guys got to put together four really great rounds of golf to win out there. So looking forward to that. Um, Actually, you know what? Quickly, we will go back to the TPC Scottsdale, the Waste Management, because I picked Scotty to win, because that's like kind of an obvious pick. And I'm not going to do it the rest of the season. I did it twice. I picked him to win the American Express, and he did. But then I picked him to win this week, and I'm just not going to do that anymore. That's just not fun. But Scotty shot 73 day one, which was one of 3 rounds of 73, which has also been his highest score in like the last 2 or 3 years or something. It's just absurd stat. But the guy is so incredibly good that he proceeds to go from essentially, he wasn't dead last, but he was way down on the leaderboard, uh, to climbing up and finishing top five. I mean, I literally, I mean, we got, by the time it was like hole 10 or 11 or 12 maybe of him on the back nine, I thought there was like, a as good of a chance that Scotty would win the tournament when he was two back that anybody else was going to win. I literally like felt like those odds were about equivalent. And so, um, just the fact that he didn't win, certainly like, you know, shadows, that, but, on the other hand, it does tell you that like, hey, he's still right there. He's still the number one player in the world. He's still got every single thing going for him. And he just had like one remotely off day to shoot a 73. I mean, if he shoots 71, he wins the golf tournament. So, yeah. And then we're going to get into the three wiggle wisdom. I know I apologize. This episode's kind of been all over the place. But it's all right. Just roll with me. So three wiggle wisdom, we're going to link this back to Chris Gotterup, man. You know, it's really easy to get um infatuated with creating a golf swing that um you, the golfer, you visually like, you know, when you're looking at it on your phone, that you think looks good. And I don't get me wrong, I think there's some importance to that, but I think it is way more important that you do whatever is going to produce the most consistent golf shots and in turn produce more confidence, because that's what it boils down to for Chris Gotterup. That guy has got confidence oozing out of his ears and eyes and nose and mouth, dude. Um, and that's what's letting him play freely, go out there. And now that he's a four-time winner, I mean, this is only his third year on tour. That's what is letting him go out week to week and go, hey, I got what it takes to compete and win, you know. And so my hope for him, is that he doesn't get to this point, you know, if he wins this first major or another or whatever, or he keeps just clipping off these PGA Tour events, that he doesn't stop and make a immediate change. And I listen, I understand that aspect of it as well. You know, Jordan Spieth and many others, they're playing great golf and then they change something. And I get it. You want to try to find that 1% detail, that one minute thing that can really, really elevate your game. But I argue that in the middle of the season is not the time to do that. And I would even argue that if you end the season on a high note without having changed things and you're going to have a 2 or 3 or 4 month off season, that you're better off just going into that off season, continuing to focus on what got you those previous results anyways. Um, you know, even Tiger, like the GOAT, he's done this a couple times. And every time you do that, like nobody's immune to this. Every time you make a change, you're going to have a setback. Unfortunately for others, again, I referenced Spieth, like it can be more severe and drawn out. You know, we're still waiting for Spieth to like really come back full swing. I mean, obviously he won the RBC Heritage a few years ago. I want to say maybe he won in Texas or something. Around that time too. I could be misremembering, but he definitely won the RBC Heritage, and you know had a good week there. But he would be the first to tell you that he's not. He's just not where he wants to be, and he knows that he's not anywhere near where he was in that 2013, 14, 15 Spieth. So confidence is critical to success in anything that you guys are going to do. Obviously, we're talking golf, and that is no different, but it is crucial to your long-term success that as you're building confidence, you do whatever you can to protect it. And that's all I got for you guys. That's the three wiggle wisdom for today is, you have to work, you have to grind, you have to fail, you have to get back up and fail and then get back up and fail. And when you do that, you're building these little tiny bricks of confidence over and over and over and over and over again. And you got to protect that because when you make a change and you deviate from, what it was that was building those bricks, again, it goes back to that you're you're essentially um, taking that bucket of confidence and you're setting it over here in hopes that you can create something new that will then also create new confidence. And again, I understand it to some degree, but I would argue that it's more valuable to sustain your early confidence and just keep that going. So guys, have a great week. We'll see you next Monday for the AT&T Pro-Am at Pebble Beach weekly recap. And thank you guys. Continue to like, follow, share, comment, subscribe at Three Wiggle Golf Co. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. And that's it. So